Hello people of YouTube, it's Deepak here, and welcome to the DCS news stream for the 18th of December 2021. First, says Tog, welcome to the stream, sir. I hope you all enjoyed that, my first tutorial video in the FA-18C Hornet. Just a very simple video all about how to start up the aircraft. In the F-18, that's actually not particularly difficult to achieve, as you probably noted. A fairly short video, but next week we're going to get flung off the deck and into the air, which is one of the most fun things you can do in a naval aircraft. The least fun things being air-to-air refueling and then landing the thing again back on the carrier, because that's not easy. Welcome, Yogi. Welcome to the stream. So, yeah, like I said, next week we'll do the launch. Not much more to talk about on that one. There'll be a continuing series in the FE18. It's such a complete module and such a multi-role module that I'll have stuff ongoing with that one for quite some time to come, I imagine. So, onwards to the actual important stuff, the DCS news. And as always, welcome the one and only dotChuckles. Oh, hi.
Good evening, indeed. Hi. And yet again, it's a Saturday. Yet again, we are here for the news. And what a lot of news we have.
All kinds of excellent stuff.
There's a ton. There's a ton of news.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I'm not even really sure where to start, because we have some kind of bigger ticket items, like the stuff that's coming for the F-16. The update next week. We've got the Winter Sale, a whole load of kind of exciting stuff. But perhaps we should do as we always do and jump into the Eagle Dynamics newsletter and see what the Hyhegians have told us to talk about.
Yes, because even the small things that we've got to talk about have some little gems hidden inside them. So,
yes, they do.
Yeah.
I'm saving those for the end, the little gems. If you want to see little gems, chat, you've got to hang on.
Because we spotted stuff.
Yes, exactly. Okie dokie. So, yes, starting from the beginning, as Tog has instructed us, we're pleased to inform you that Open Beta 2.7.9 is coming in hot, and we expect to have it for you next week. So apparently there's going to be substantial work in the Viggen and additions to the F-14. I'm not actually... This hasn't been trailed, so I'm not really sure what they're referring to.
Well, I do know that they've overhauled the night lighting within both the Viggen and F-14 Tomcat to keep in line with updates to the DCS engine. So I think that is going to be some nice cosmetic things for nighttime flying in both those aircraft. But that's the only thing that I have spotted as being updated in them. However, when we see the patch notes, we might see some more stuff.
As I often do, being the big Razbam fanboy that I am, went and poked Razbam in their Discord and said, hey guys, what do you have coming for the Harrier next week? And they said, nothing big, just bug fixes. So we shouldn't expect too much in that changelog. As well as an important batch of Open World War II enhancements. So I wonder if that's going to be continuing stuff with the damage models, because I know they've been doing a lot of work with World War II damage models, which will be cool. Yeah. Second thing they mention is a big one, and this is one that we were just talking about before the show started. DCS voice chat.
So are we are we going to cover this in more detail in its own thing, or are we going to do it now? Because there's a lot to talk about on this.
I think we could just talk about it now if you're happy to do so.
Let's just do that because it's a biggie. It's a biggie. Yeah. But anyway, let's read the paragraph and then we'll get into discussion about it.
Absolutely. So DCS voice chat is a comprehensive approach to radio communications in DCS world and should be available in the upcoming OB. This capability has been in the works for more than 2 years and will bring voice compatibility across the platform. We continue to test it thoroughly whilst encouraging our third-party developers to configure their modules accordingly. We're confident that this component will add a simple and powerful communication layer to DCS, and we very much look forward to your feedback. And then they have a more in-depth bit down here. So really the only thing that they're going into detail on is they say you don't need any additional software, you don't need to set up anything else. Enhancements are coming. This is the initial version, and they will also be adding communication to combined arms roles, ground units, ATC, AWACS, Further developments will include encrypted communication noises, clicks, distortions, and voice synthesizing in real time. So.
Yeah. So I went off and read the document on how to use it. And as far as I can tell, the state that it was in, as one of our members pointed out, was, it's like Discord and nobody uses it. This is much improved over that state. And I think it's good that they're starting to talk about this, because I think it's good that people are going to use it, and I'll get into why later. But right now, as far as I can gather from the document that they've published about how to use it, I would say it is as featured now as SRS, with the exception of the nice radio effects. So if that's important to you, then it's not quite there. But in terms of just being able to communicate, change the radios, use encryption, do all that kind of stuff, it's all there right now, and you don't need any extra software, which is a big deal. I'm reading what they've said across, because they seem to have let little bits of information out across different platforms, be it Twitter or Facebook. But when you go and read the whole gestalt of everything that they've put out, this sounds really, really featured. The ability for it to work with AWACS and ATC, voice synthesis, which I am wondering if that means we might start getting some kind of built-in ATIS.
I think that it. Well, I don't know for sure, but I think that's what they're suggesting. So they seem to be suggesting that like mission-generated text that in the past would just pop up on the top line of your screen could now be spoken over the radio, which would be very, very cool.
Yeah, because right now, if you want to get ATIS in SRS, you've got to do some trickery with Google APIs and their voice synthesis and all that kind of stuff. Whereas if that's what they're hinting at, then this is going to be again built into the software, which is a big deal. And I'm interested in to understand the second paragraph here. We'll also be adding radio communication to combined arms roles, ground units, ATC, and AWACS. So right now we use LOT ATC within the VAF. So does that mean they're going to start implementing a connection with that, or bring in their own kind of AWACS sort of role? I mean, I understand that ground commanders right now can use this, but it's a little bit, it's a little bit work in progress. So there's definitely a whole bunch of features coming to this. Now, for me, why I think this is really important is that good communication is absolutely key to working in the multiplayer environment.
Yes,
it's essential. You cannot be effective without communication. Now, right now, that's fine because we have SRS, but for a lot of people who are wanting to get into multiplayer and wanting to get into flying with other people, SRS is quite a technical hurdle for a lot of people. They don't understand how to install it. They don't understand how to configure it. And then they don't understand how to connect to it if the server isn't automatically connecting them. So to have something within the game, that is going to take the burden off the player and hopefully encourage more tactical communication.
Yep, I think these are all very, very good points. And actually, we've talked about this a little bit on the stream in the past, and I've been kind of down on this. But the main reason I was down on it was because what I saw was not impressive that they'd already implemented. If it's going to be at the kind of stage that you describe here, and what they've shown off in the newsletter, then I am excited actually, because as you say, it takes away another hurdle. I think SRS is an absolutely fantastic piece of software, and I think
completely.
I think what Siri Bob has managed to do is really, really cool. And the thing is, the actual way it sounds, while it's not perfect, you've often talked about the power supply harmonics and things like that not being present, but it mostly does sound like real life radio communication, and it's really, really cool when you've got it set up. However, if Eagle are going to implement something just as good directly in the game, obviously that's better. That's going to be really, really good.
I kind of wonder if Siri Bob hasn't been involved in this, because I know he was working directly with developers, and I wonder if there hasn't been some kind of, hey, do you fancy coming on board? I mean, that's pure speculation, but it just seems that a lot of the features here are very, very familiar. Excuse me, sorry. So I wonder if he's not had a little bit of involvement, because I know Eagle Dynamics have reached out to big mod creators in the past, so I wouldn't be surprised if his fingerprints are somewhere in here. But yeah, basically it ditches the need for SRS. I don't think it'll ditch the need for lot ATC yet.
No, I don't think so either.
We'll have to wait and see. And as you pointed out, lot ATC is actually a major. It's not just for DCS. Real world militaries use it. So, like, I think your point about they might not want to step into that territory, I think is probably well made. That you made earlier on before we came online. But yeah, it's just going to remove a lot of hurdles for people getting into it, and I think there's the possibility for a more technical and more realistic representation of communication.
Yeah.
In fact, Fair FM has just said has more potential than SRS, because the thing is that SRS at the end of the day, they're still having to go through whatever API ED gives, third-party developers. Whereas, obviously ED can get to the bare metal here. Yes. And can just do stuff that a third party can't do. So I think there's the potential for this to be really, really something special.
And if Eagle suddenly decide that certain information is useful for the simulation of radio, they can just get it. Like, it's not like, as you say, an external application that has to use a published, stable static API. Eagle can export to the radio simulation whatever information they want, which is potentially going to be very, very good. Just quickly addressing chat. I didn't lose a bet. I decided to shave my head. It's just a change of hairstyle. But thank you very much for the money there, Frantic Stone. It's very much appreciated. Yes, you'll get no need for SRS Discord or TeamSpeak potentially in the future. You'll be able to be in game. That means you'll need to be in game to do ATC stuff then. That's actually an interesting point there from Tog, because at present, if you wanted to just be an ATC position, you could do that with a laptop just running SRS and lot ATC. Whereas if you want to use this system, I guess you would have to be running DCS. So if you have simpler hardware that maybe can't run DCS, that might not work. I think we'll have to wait and see on what their implementation is going to be and what exactly they mean by ATC and AWACS integration. So I think time will have to tell on that. Yeah, I guess it's entirely possible that Eagle creates their own client application for doing this. So it's not impossible that you could continue to operate in exactly the same way as people operate today with lot ATC and SRS.
Yeah.
Yogi asks, chaps, when do you think the Ready Room is going to be coming to the supercarrier? I thought, and I might be misremembering, but I thought that Eagle promised it for this year.
Yeah.
But who knows? So it might be coming next week, or it might be in January, I guess.
So anyway, just there was one point that I wanted to make, and I think it's an important one before we sort of move on from this and go off on a tangent, is that one of the things that ED will have access to that SRS cannot simulate is communications jamming.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because they're going heavily into ECM simulation now, in whatever manner that they can do that's declassified. And of course, one of the factors of the electronic warfare battle space is communications jamming. You cannot do that with SRS because that information can't get passed out. But this, you can.
I've got another one. I don't know exactly how to describe it, like sound bleed, I guess. So DCS knows what sounds are currently occurring in your cockpit, and it knows what kind of audio pickup your pilot is using.
Exactly.
So perhaps for example, in helicopters. Because it's very common in helicopters to hear background beeping and the rotor and all kinds of things.
So I remember, and I don't know how they did it, but the radio comm system that we all used before SRS, I forget its name.
I know the one you mean.
It ran through TeamSpeak.
Yes.
And I remember when you flew a helicopter, you constantly sounded like
that's right.
That.
That's right.
From the thudding of the rotors, and it was.
I know how they did it. I know how they did it. Actually, it was very simplistic. They simply used. They had like a background audio clip for each aircraft type. So it wasn't even like individual aircraft. It was like, this is a chopper, so we're going to play the chopper sound. It did it like that. So it was kind of faked, but it worked, and it worked really well.
Yeah,
and somehow, for the MiG-21 in particular, like ones that had old school mics inside an oxygen mask, it really did create a muffled sound, like you were wearing an oxygen mask. It was cool.
Yeah. So I think I think this is exciting stuff. I'm going to watch it with a lot of interest. I think even now, in its current state, with the new radio system, people who have not been able to get over the barrier of SRS and are just coming into that multiplayer zone right now, I think this is going to be of benefit to them. And I wouldn't be surprised having it encouraged on servers, because it means there is now no excuse for people to not communicate.
Yes.
Now, I get it. Not everybody wants to be
unless
so
you don't have a
public and
microphone.
talk on the radio, unless you don't have a microphone. And not everybody has the confidence to do it and all that kind of stuff. But I think it's just taken that one barrier away for somebody who's been like, oh, I don't really want to talk on the radio. I don't feel very comfortable. I'm not very confident. Oh, God, and I've got to install this software. Okay, well, that's taken that away now, and it might just get some people over that hurdle.
Yes.
So I think it's a really good it's a really good thing.
I think I'm going to be making a lot of feature requests to Eagle once I've had a shot at this, because there's so many things that I would want. So the kinds of things that you've talked about so much in the past, the electrical sounds or whatever you call it exactly.
It's your 400 hertz AC kind of whine that bleeds through everything.
Yep. I want to have that. I want to have some audio bleed through from the cockpit, depending on the type of pickup that you're using. Jamming would be really, really cool. There's just so much stuff. Integration. Integration with the cockpits, because many aircraft cockpits have transmit and receive indicators in the cockpit, and most of them at the current time don't work. So getting those properly implemented would be super good. Yeah,
there's a ton of features here that you just can't do with SRS, but you could do with this. Yeah,
totally. Alrighty, shall we move on, sir?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Actually, moving on would be the Winter Sale 2021. So the DCS Winter Sale 2021 is here. It feels like there's a sale like every couple of weeks. And it will run until the 10th of January at 1500 GMT. Please take this opportunity to upgrade your DCS world with new aircraft, maps, and asset packs. Check out the eShop and find up to 50% discounts across our most popular modules. And, as they often do, they've given us a video just to hammer that point home, so we can look at beautiful F-14s, MiG-29s, F-18s, etc., etc. Oh, that was a missed trap there. That was quite cool.
Yeah.
Oopsie.
Yeah.
And there's the Airbus.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's got a full 50% discount on it. But there's some big modules here with lots off. The maps appear to be 50% off. So, if you still have to get to see Persian Gulf is 50% off. Normandy 1944 is 50% off. Nevada is 50% off. Campaigns Fear the Bones is looking 50% off. What else? Yeah, Syria map is not but Syria map is discounted.
Just not 50%.
Not 50%. No. So there's some big savings there. I wonder how much the F-16 is discounted at the moment. I'm just having a look.
Very well.
Can't tell.
Mr. Hack, will you do some F-18 campaigns? Most likely not. No. I'm very much a tutorial creator. I don't do that much kind of mission content, exactly. Cool. Also in the newsletter, they're talking about the Mi-24P Hind development progress, and they ask us to go and take a little look at the development screenshots, where we'll see textured gloves and Polyot chronograph 3133 with manual winding, shock protection, and stuff.
I wonder if it tells the time.
I'm just the first image that came up. In fact, was the overlay for the radio mode. Looks perfectly acceptable. Here we go. Here's an image of a watch and a glove. This is going to be included in an update to the Hind. And actually, that was it. Yeah, glove and a watch. I think far more interesting than that is the radio stuff. That's going to be exciting. Tog telling me I still need to demonstrate viffing in the Harrier. I could do that. There's not much to it.
It's just not a technique that was ever really used.
But don't you know that the only reason that the British won the Falklands War is because we were viffing and flying backwards and all kinds of stuff?
Yeah, it was never used. It was never used because all it does is kill your energy and means that his wingman goes, easy kill. It's just not a thing. Like, I don't even think the US Marines used the technique. It's something that was kind of like a sort of, this we can do, but it never happened.
Well, it's basically exactly the same as the Cobra. And the Cobra maneuver, while it's a very cool thing to do at an air show, it's a very, very one-shot affair, just like viffing is.
Yeah.
You yank on that lever, and he's going to sail right by you, but if you don't make that shot, you are dead. And do you really want to bet your life on perfecting one maneuver? I don't think you do.
Yeah. It's just it's these sort of fancy show-off things that, as you say, look good in a air show, but have zero practical use in combat.
It would be a really embarrassing way to die.
Yeah.
Also coming next week is the Open Beta 2.7.9er. The upcoming Open Beta will mark an important update to DCS World. We're currently resolving some of the outstanding World War II issues and completing several new features for the F-16 Viper. If you've not already, please check out the new videos we're actually going to in a moment. So we've got air-to-ground helmet and the ECM. The air-to-ground helmet, Mr. Wagner, Daddy Wagner, released that video 10 minutes. It was 10 minutes after we went off air last Saturday. He released that video.
What a bastard.
He's toying with us. He's just toying with us. So, without any further ado, perhaps we should take a look at these videos.
Yeah, let's go and have a look,
Let's go and have a little look. So the first one I'm going to show is actually the second one he published, and it's the one all about the ECM. This one I found really interesting because I don't know if anyone remembers, but last week I was asking about the ECM panel in the F-16, and I was like, what do all those buttons do? Now we know.
We know!
He has now told us what all those buttons do, and they, to be honest, they seem utterly redundant. But hey, I'm sure in the real world there's probably a reason to turn individual modules on and off. I'm pretty sure in the sim there is not. I doubt we have that level of simulation. But it's very interesting, and actually it was only last week or the week before, I can't remember now, that I did my video on the defensive systems on the JF-17, and the jammer in the F-16 basically works in an identical fashion to the one in the JF-17.
So I have a theory as to why you might want to turn some of these systems off. Or turn some of these buttons off. Because as I understand it, each of those buttons represents a lobe on the jammer. So if you are the forward guard element of a big formation, you may not want to be jamming behind you. So you may want to turn elements off, or if you're a rear guard, you might want to have your rear lobes jamming, but not your forward lobes to not interfere with things in front. So I reckon that might be a way of giving some directionality to your jamming, but that is a pure guess.
I also had a guess, and do you want to hear my guess? Because it's different.
Go on.
So I assumed he described these as modules, and I wonder if perhaps the modules are either replaceable or programmable, and I wonder if you program the modules based on the threats you're going to experience.
Okay. Yeah, that's possible as well. Like the way I understand it is that pod has like directionality. It's like it can jam to the front, the side, downwards, backwards, and you can sort of, I think, manipulate the way that direction works. It's not just an omnidirectional fuck off. You know, it sort of has some directionality. So I wonder that. But your suggestion is also very good too.
We both are perfectly good at guessing.
Yes, with no real knowledge, because all this stuff is really classified. So you know, we're just kind of really guessing at this point.
Yeah, but certainly in the JF-17, its pod, as you describe, kind of lobes, it had a forward and a rear lobe, and you could have one or the other or both on at the same time for exactly the reasons that you describe. So that's very plausible what you said. So I guess we'll see. But yeah, really, really cool to see this. I'm guessing in game, turning these modules on and off isn't really going to do anything because we don't have that level of ECM simulation. But who knows? Maybe one day one of those modules will be jamming communication frequencies, and DCS voice chat will react to that, and that'd be super cool.
Yeah.
And everybody would be happy. I'm actually planning to get back into the F-16 soon, now with all of these updates, and also add some additional tutorials to my series, because I now have gaps because of all this extra functionality. It was really interesting to see the way that different modes work differently with the CMS switch, and he actually demonstrates it in the video. So watch this video to understand how to actually implement this. It's not massively complicated, but you need to know what you're doing with the CMS switch to make this work.
Yep. Somebody was joking on the Discord about the new communication features, and if it is the case that jamming starts, somebody was joking and was like, "Yeah, just wait. Next patch, SRS fails integrity check."
Someone did say that. Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
that's the thing. If that's a joke, but the you can see where that would come from, because you would have to be able to define on the server whether it's acceptable for people to be running external comms applications if there's actually like a kind of tactical element to this. So do we know what model of ECM pod is simulated? There are actually 3 different ECM pods being simulated for the F-16. I don't know if we're getting all of them at once, and he does list them in the video. Actually, let's see, is it in the text? Because I'm not sure if... Oh, here we go. So we are getting the ALQ-184, both in its short and long configuration. I wonder if that's number of modules. And also, we're getting the ALQ-131. What the differences are between these pods, I don't know, but we're getting all 3. So that's to answer your question there, Green Beret 84. Also, like I said, just after last week's stream, we got this video all about the air-to-ground helmet, and I have to say, it's a bunch of functionality that I did not know the F-16 had, and I'm rather excited. This is quite advanced.
Yeah, it's pretty cool what it can do.
You can look at stuff on the ground and make a mark point. You can look at stuff on the ground and fire a Maverick at that. It's pretty cool. I don't know if it integrates with the targeting pod. It would be nice if it did. I
would imagine so, because you can make your targeting pod look at your size. So I would imagine be able to pass it off.
Well, that's the thing. I was wondering if you could even steer the pod in real time, like the Shkval in the Ka-50 works with its helmet-mounted sight. I'm guessing no, but But what you described would work. You could make a mark point, make that soy, and then the pod would look at that. So that would work.
Yeah.
It's pretty damn cool, though. Watch this video if you have any interest in this subject. He demonstrates it really nicely. It's quite easy to understand, actually, and the mode of operation is fairly simple. Gets the job done. Makes the F-16 a really, really nice CAS and strike aircraft with these kinds of features. he even drops some bombs after after targeting stuff. Oh, yeah, because you can make immediate designations for Wick Mid and things like that, which is kind of nice. Very, very cool addition. This is also coming next week, is my understanding. Matt Jones, speaking of ECM, I tried to obtain the flight manuals for the Harrier. Oh, okay, Matt Jones, I've seen your posts in the Razbam Discord. I know all about your Freedom of Information requests. Good work.
Yeah, good luck getting that. Yeah,
yeah, they were rejected, as expected. Zeus ECM on these Harriers is still classified. Oh, very much so. Yeah. Very, very classified. Dive Toss, Greenberry 84. Dive Toss, funnily enough, they've said it's coming to the F-16, and in a patch very soon, we're getting it in the Harrier as well, which would be very nice. So these things are all coming.
Yeah, that's a very Cold War method of employing weapons, so therefore cool.
The only thing cooler than that is the over-the-shoulder Dive Toss. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That was the Saber's nuclear delivery. That it had. Yeah.
Absolutely mental, but hey, whatever works.
Yeah.
Cool. Okie dokie. So yeah, that's the new air-to-ground helmet modes. Go ahead and review this video if you want to get some more detail on that. Another thing that I noticed in the Viper mini updates, this was a post in the forum, not a video on this occasion. I don't know if you saw this one, dotChuckles, but the functionality for representing jamming targets in the FCR, in the F-16, is coming in a future update. I don't know exactly. Yeah, it says this is planned for January 2022. Yeah. This is really, really cool. So basically, targets which are jamming, but you've burned through and you're actually getting range information, will display double chevrons, but also a brick. Ones which you have not burned through, and so you're only getting bearing, will only display chevrons, and they'll be locked to the top of your FCR, as per this screenshot, what I am showing you all now. So this is really rather cool, in my opinion. This is another thing that I didn't know about in the F-16. That it had this capability. It's actually very similar to the functionality the F-18 has, except the F-18 has... Yeah. Exactly, the F-18 has the dugout. So instead of the dugout, we just have the top of the display in the case of the F-16.
Yeah.
So that's pretty damn cool, if you ask me, and coming very soon now. Something else that we noticed that's really rather cool, and this is Eagle have started doing this on their YouTube channel. They now have these things called DCS shorts, and
let's not tell people what we noticed and see if they spot it.
Yeah. Tell us if you notice.
Let's play it. Tell us what they notice in this.
I think I can actually play the audio with these ones. So let me go ahead and play it, and if I get a strike, then that's on me.
It look easy.
Yeah, I know. Really cool, and of course it looks rather realistic because it's filmed vertically, like all idiots do. So there was something to notice in that video. I'm going to wait and see if chat noticed anything, and then let's jump straight into this next one.
Yeah.
Entitled Sonic Boom. Once again filmed vertically.
Yeah.
Nice sonic boom.
Chat has spotted it. The atmospheric effects in that sonic boom video. Yeah, there's a double rainbow going on. And I think the implementation of the rain as well falling is new too.
But there was also something new in the first short video that I showed. And I don't know how many people caught that one. 2 rainbows. Actually, that's a good one. I think that sound was actually the current in-game sonic boom. It sounded very much like the standard one to me. Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah. The first video that I was showing you all, let me just play that again and pause it. I wasn't quick enough. There we go. Okay, take a little look at the harms on this F-16. Do you notice the blue bands? What does that mean? Blue bands on weapons in US inventory means training ordnance. Are we getting training rounds for the harm? That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I think that's an expansion of the inventory.
That would be really, really cool. This is something that people have been shouting about quite a lot in the Razbam Discord for quite a long time, that they would like to see more training rounds implemented in the game. And there are some people who are like, oh, what's the point? Training rounds don't make any sense in the sim, blah, blah, blah. My point of view is, why not? If you want to recreate training scenarios and you want to recreate loadouts that be used in these training scenarios, then why should we not have them in the sim?
Yeah.
There's also something else in this picture. I wonder if anybody can tell me what this is. You see that yellow panel on the left wing of the F-16? What is that? Because I've never seen that before.
No.
Is that just paintwork? It seems to be... It's just in the seam where the leading edge flaps come up and down.
It looks like a slime light, but I've never seen one there on an F-16, so it might not be a slime light.
I've never seen it in game. The current in-game F-16 does not have that, whatever it is.
Yeah, don't know, unless it's a texture glitch that they're still working on. Don't know.
I don't think it is. Oh wait, there's some detail inside it. There's like 3 black dots inside it. You probably can't see from your vantage point there, but it looks a lot like a slime light, but I've never seen one there. Yeah.
So, oh well, there we go.
I'm at a loss. Chat, if you can tell me what that is, please let me know. But very, very excited to see additional training ordnance, and also very excited to see... let me see if I can get it paused at the right moment. Really excited to see a double rainbow, no less, inside DCS. Yeah. Really cool.
So there's some better atmospheric simulation going on there. So there's more stuff to do with the weather that they've been talking about in past newsletters over the last month or so.
And I think these are the only 2 shorts they've done so far. I'm actually just checking their channel now. But I hope they keep doing this. I only noticed this because they were posting it up on Twitter as well, as I recall. And it's
at least they didn't have the god-awful computer-generated voice over it.
Oh, yeah.
Refueling the F-16, LOL.
That would truly be awful.
So precise. Fucking die.
Go away. So that is actually pretty much the news, everything that we had from the newsletter this week.
The newsletter, yeah.
One final thing that they do mention is that we kindly remind you that the final stage of Shadow's Trophy Tournament will take place on Saturday, the 18th of December, which is today, 1200 GMT, which is in the past. So, so that's already happened. I don't know why I'm mentioning it.
Yeah. So I think as well, like I think they've dropped some hints here as well, where they have said, we're pleased, in the first paragraph, 2.79 is coming in hot. We expect to have it for next week. This important update will include.
Yes.
So talking about an important update, but the things that they've mentioned aren't massively important. So what are they not mentioning? And I still think that we're on the ball about Fleur update coming this patch.
I think so. I think that we're.
Me too.
I think we're getting it next week, which would be most exciting. And I now need to try out DCS voice chat and see what it's like. Well, I guess I need to try it out after the patch drops. Fair FM, there's the no step line that's beneath the slats. I've never seen that there before.
Not a slime light.
Yeah. I think it might be related to the pylon having an attachment, so you could see if it's jammed on something. I don't know what that means, Tog. Any new info on the integration of Vulkan API and multi-core support? The only thing they've said is that it's, I think they said it's coming Q1 2022.
There was some behind-the-scenes stuff that they patched in, or that they're maintaining. I know they're maintaining 2 separate branches at the moment.
They said that,
so they're doing stuff with it, but when we see it in a patch, I don't know.
Hopefully very soon, because that's going to be really exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's everything we've got in the newsletter for this week. 2 weeks, says Stu. Yeah, standard answer. So I wonder, dotChuckles, should we, as always, plug the VAF?
We should do. We have a little bit of time left, so
Yes.
I don't know if it's a bit early for that, and
Probably
see
is.
what chat has for us in terms of their questions. As always, I know I have projects. I'm about to have 3 weeks off work, which is my first leave in 12 months. So. Yeah, I'm planning on doing some stuff. Making a gun rack effectively is what I'm doing on that, because I have all my HOTAS equipment that I don't have rigged to my chair all the time. So I'm making a nice rack for everything to go on, so I can just lift it off and put it on the chair.
Nice rack.
Nice rack. Yeah, I know, right?
That seems like a really good idea, because I have a cupboard, so like when I dismantle my flying setup, it all goes into a cupboard. Which is a little bit clunky. Having what you describe is that's a bit nicer.
Yeah, because the setup that I've got for all the Verpal stuff, because it's got the throttle on it and it's got the collective on it and all that kind of stuff. It's a fairly big, chunky thing. And it bolts on. I've got a what do you call it? Monster Tech mount, like quick release mount.
Yes.
So the idea is it'll go into a little cradle, and then I can just lift it off the cradle and put it on the chair, and then then we'll go with that. Pictures, please. Yes, I shall send pictures of my rack when it's finished.
Try not to get banned.
Try not to get banned off of YouTube for my pictures of my rack. Yeah.
You should post it to your YouTube channel, because that's dotChuckles' YouTube channel is linked in the show notes below.
Yes, it has nothing on it because I haven't had time for about a year. So
I am also just now off work. I did my last day of work for 2021 yesterday, and I now don't return to work until partway through January, which is most exciting. So I also have a few weeks of just chilling, and I'm sure that I will find exciting things to do. I will probably produce a bunch of content for the channel, of course, and some missions for the VAF.
No, this is my first leave in 12 months. I didn't take any leave this year. So it's 3 weeks off is I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah. So chat, what do you have for us this week? Is there any burning questions or things you would like us to talk about? And we shall attempt to answer your questions or chat eruditely about the things that you want us to chat about.
Consider this a dotChuckles and Deep Hack AMA.
Uh-oh.
Yes, indeed. Feel free to ask away, chat.
I don't know if my life bears public scrutiny, actually.
Well, mine neither.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess if we want to quickly mention the VAF while we're waiting to see if questions come in, we still the 4 squadrons continue to rumble on. We are currently flying F-16s, F-14s, A-10s, and Harriers very happily, and we're still looking for F-18 pilots, so we can start up an F-18 squadron. Maybe people will be what would you say? Inspired by my Hornet tutorial series, and we'll pick up the aircraft and want to fly it with, very intelligent, skilled individuals like the pilots at the VAF. Yeah, no, we've been doing really well. There's been lots of new people coming in as well. We've got lots of fresh faces showing up, some of which who have been joining the squadrons and some of which have just been hanging around to chat, and that is absolutely fine as well. We welcome both. Yes. Please, if you're interested in flying with us or just hanging out and chatting about aviation in general, the Discord link is in the show note below. Please come join us.
Question from Stu. You guys setting up an Apache squadron? We are indeed. Yes. 6th Regiment Army Air Corps will be established when the Apache comes out, and I am going to be the boss of that. So, yes indeed.
He will be your chap for learning how to fly the Apache.
Yes, I'm already currently digesting the manual for the Apache. So it's there's quite a lot to learn.
Deep and Chuck, play Tarkov? ?
So
you like Tarkov?
So we had one of our squadron leaders said, "Oh, I've got Tarkov. Does anybody want to play?" And I think I described it as, "Oh God, how did I put it?" It was like, you might as well have somebody kick you in the nuts while screaming in Russian and shocking you with a car battery and save yourself 60 quid.
It's a punishing experience, but if you're into pain,
my blood pressure is high enough as it is.
I am a very, very big fan of Tarkov. I play Tarkov a lot. I think it's an excellent game. However, it is definitely not for everyone. You have to have faulty brain chemistry is the only thing I can kind of describe it as to actually enjoy Tarkov. It's mostly just punishing. So if you're into a bit of punishment, then go play Tarkov. Uwu, exactly. Uwu or Missies. I really like it. For me, the gunplay is amazing. They've just released a new patch. One of the new things in the new patch is a bunch of additional simulation around weapons malfunctions and overheating, like barrel heating and bolt heating and things like that. And it's, in my opinion, brilliant. It's the best implementation of this I've ever seen in a game. So I'm on the new map. I'm on the new.
Saying he just wants to watch me panic. The thing is, I don't panic. It's more Hulk smash than panic.
He gets angry. He mostly gets angry. So I was doing a bit of sniping. I'm looking through the scope. I pull the trigger and I get a click. And a little message flashes at the bottom right of the screen telling me that I should inspect my weapon. And so there's the inspection button like you have in Call of Duty and all those kind of games where your guy holds up the gun and turns it over and shows it to the camera. You have to do that, and then your guy figures out, that was a misfire, and then you have to rack the bolt and eject that dud cartridge.
Dear God, no.
This was giving me real panic because there's a guy coming. I get a click, and then I have to quickly figure out what the hell is wrong with my gun before I can continue fighting. Sidearms. Oh. This is why you bring a sidearm.
Phil, our server details are in the Discord. However, if you just search for VAF in the server browser, you will find us. Stieglitz and the Things with Wings asks, any plans to enter IL-2 with the VAF? Probably not, but never say never. World War II is not something that holds a massive amount of interest with myself and Deepak here.
No.
But I guess if there was enough numbers, maybe. But then DCS has some pretty good World War II action of its own. So who knows? Who knows?
I think that's a job for somebody else. VAF was formed originally by dotChuckles and myself, and we built it around our own particular interests, which is modern aviation combat. We're not particularly interested in World War II. I'm sure there are other people out there doing a much better job of that than we ever could.
Yeah.
Frantic makes me laugh when he starts using VoIP. Deepak's face is so funny. Yeah. He's referring to some of the Deepak Plays Tarkov streams where Frantic runs around using the in-game VoIP and just shouting all the time. And I'm like, this is not good. This is how we get killed, and then we get killed. Yeah. Stu, IL-2 is extremely good. I wish DCS would get away from the health bars and do more damage models like IL-2. They do. Actually, maybe your DCS knowledge is out of date. They now have quite a complex damage model for World War II aircraft. The modern ones are not quite as good, but still better than a health bar. There's very in-depth damage modeling for the World War II aircraft already, and they've said it's coming to the modern aircraft. Yeah.
All sorts of terminal ballistics stuff and fun things, and cascading failures. So yeah, damage model is very much improved.
I think we probably want multi-core support before they start implementing that. But yes, it's pretty good. Did you see the Arma 3 infusion engine bit? No, I didn't. Nope, not a clue.
And of course, didn't Bohemia's been bought recently, and I want to say, was it BAE Systems bought them?
I don't know anything about this. I didn't hear about it.
Yeah, they've been. Was it BAE Systems? Basically, major world player defense contractor bought them.
That's cool.
So yeah.
Stu, talking about the ground units. The ground units do still have a health bar, yes, but actually many of the ground units have already gotten a slightly more complex damage model, where the armor values are determined based on the aspect you attack them from, and it is possible to get a maneuver kill and also to disable the main weapon. So still not brilliant, but a big step up from what they were doing in the past. IL-2, by the way, updated their clouds to keep up with DCS, I guess, says Tog. Greenberry84, have you ever seen a game or pro sim called Mace from Battlespace Simulations Inc.? No, I don't know what that is.
I've come across it in passing. It seems like sort of a bit of a melding of CMano and DCS and a couple other things, but it seems very... It feels very abstracted from what I've seen, but like I'm probably showing my ignorance and not having seen enough of it.
I see. Very interesting. Thank you very much, chat, for all of these questions. These are interesting ones. Thank God for MS 2020 kicking everyone in their butts to update cloud systems, lol. Yes.
True.
Plus one. It's so clear, like cause and effect, really. You know, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 came along and everybody else went, oh dear, our atmospherics look like shit.
Yeah. I mean, and like the kind of stuff that I know they're working on now, because I know one of the big updates that's coming in the near future is gliding, which I'm very much looking forward to, because in the distant past I used to be a glider pilot. And I know that that's a lot of interaction. What they're simulating is a lot of interaction of air movement in the ground and how the ground affects air movement, as well as thermals. So they're really creating quite a sandbox here. And I think that's the thing that people need to remember, because I've seen a lot of people going, oh, the planes are crap. And it's like, yeah, but it's because it's a sandbox and we're waiting for third-party developers to fill that sandbox, and they're now starting to come online.
There's some really good-looking stuff about to land for MSF.
Yeah, Phoenix A320, I think, is looking incredible. It is the most in-depth simulation of that aircraft ever. I mean, they've actually, I would argue, gone beyond DCS level of simulation with some of the things that they're doing with that aircraft. So, yeah, everybody's having to up their game as a result. Like, so I completely agree. Yeah.
Green Beret talking about simulation of radio waves and radar and stuff like that. Actually, Shimano, which we just referenced, has a very nice simulation of this. You could almost use it as a sandbox for figuring out the effectiveness of different aircraft versus different radars and things like that.
I kind of believe that it is, because I think Shimano is also, like, the version that we see, again, is a release for public, but I believe they also have things that the military use to run war games with it. So I know that it has a very in-depth simulation of propagation, radio, even satellite observation and stuff like that. It's very in depth. There's a lot going on with Shimano that probably the average player doesn't appreciate.
I think so. Definitely, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, check out Shimano. It is fascinating, and even the version for public release that we have on Steam, it simulates way more than I would have expected. And I assume some of it must be based on public sources and things like that, so maybe not 100% accurate, but far more in depth than I've seen any other simulation attempt. Far more than DCS does. It's very, very clever in that regard.
Channel Right saying, agree, ATC needs a lot more meat to it. I'm assuming you're referencing Flight Sim here, because if that's the case, then I would agree, but also that could be said about DCS. But I think with Flight Sim, if you're seriously into it, you're probably on VATSIM.
Yeah. Fly online, do yourself a favor.
Yeah, VATSIM's massive, and I mean they even built in integration out of the box with it. They worked with VATSIM to make sure that it worked, and I mean you can do. VATSIM's incredible. I mean, it's such an amazing group of volunteers that handle that. I mean, you can do a full transatlantic flight and be handed off to every center and controller along the way and have it be totally real and be guided to a sort of almost a professional standard. So definitely look at that.
I've got a lot of hours in VATSIM and it is brilliant. A Green Beret. Asking about the different versions, I believe Command Modern Operations is the sequel, so I think that's probably the one you should buy. I still just have the old one, Shimano, which is I think even that one's still really, really good. But for Modern Operations, they have updated the UI and they've added some more mechanics.
Attack view integration with the modern one as well. So you actually get a version of TACView with it. So now with the original one, you didn't really have a 3D representation of what units were doing, but now with the integration with TACView, you can see it all and of course replay stuff and figure out where you went wrong and all that kind of stuff. So it's well worth doing. Very in depth, very, very in depth. I mean, setting up even a fairly simple strike mission in it, takes a good couple hours of planning. But then in the real world, these kinds of things take days of planning. So
yeah, that's true. Welcome to the stream, Lindsay. Thank you for watching. What else have we got here? You joined Fleet Command or Sub Command, go for them. Be nice multiplayer version. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Mm-hmm. I think we're up to date with all of the chat questions there. I wonder if now is a good time to mention that we are recruiting in the VAF. So if there's anybody out there who wants to fly with us, Discord link is below in the show notes. We're always looking for more pilots. We currently have an F-16, an F-14, an A-10, and a Harrier squadron. We are in talks about starting GF-17 and F-18 squadrons, and in the near future there will be the Apache squadron, although we're waiting on the aircraft for that one.
Yeah. And for me to delve my way through the manuals and figure out how to teach the damn thing. So
yes, indeed. But yeah, we have like a kind of VAF rules, says Stieglitz. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
So we have an opt-in milsim approach. You can join the VAF and be a freelancer. Just fly with us whenever you want. No mandatory training. Fly whatever aircraft you want. You can join us in the missions or even in the training sessions. Or alternatively, you can join one of our numbered squadrons. We currently have 4 of them. And then you have mandatory training and you have qualifications that you can achieve as well as part of that. So that it gives you a kind of slightly more milsim approach. Although real life still takes precedent. We're not one of those squadrons that tells people they must attend X number of things and we'll kick you out if you don't fly enough or blah blah blah. None of that. We're all humans. We all live real, varied, difficult, complex lives, and that comes first. So I mean, prime example. I am the co-founder of the VAF, and I actually have very rarely flown.
for the last little while with the VAF, just because of real life commitments. I tend to do a lot more stuff behind the scenes in terms of administration. So, we totally get the real life is a thing, and it might be that if you have to step away for a little while, it's not like we're going to kick you out and take your wings off you. It just might be that you might have to have a little bit of training when you come back.
Exactly. We all get rusty and need to be updated from time to time. Cool. Alrighty. Is that everything that we have for this week, dotChuckles?
I think so, unless chat has anything more for us in terms of questions. I think we're kind of there.
Excellent. Well, as always, he's been dotChuckles. I'm Deepak. I do a tutorial video once a week on a Saturday, now doing the Hornet series. Next week I'll be demonstrating actually taking off and flying the FA-18. We'll be thrown off of the deck of a carrier, which will be a lot of fun. So yeah, every Saturday at 7:30 CET, I do a tutorial video premiere. Immediately after that, we do the DCS news, which just happens to be this thing, what you're watching now. I hope you've all enjoyed joining us on this little journey through the DCS news. Are we doing one next week? That just happens to be Christmas Day, dotChuckles.
Christmas Day.
Would anyone watch it?
Would anybody watch it? Because I do my Christmas celebrations on Christmas Eve with my family. So I am actually technically free. Yeah, so maybe. Why don't we see? Maybe it'll be a surprise.
It'll be a surprise, chat. We're not going to tell you. We're going to keep you on tender hooks.
Tender hooks.
Tender
I think
hooks.
You mean tenter hooks.
No, tender hooks. They're just very, very gentle. They don't hurt much.
Not tenter hooks, which is
that's a whole other thing. Thing. I would be free, so we'll see what happens. We'll see if who's available and what we want to do. But if you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and comment. Your support is really important to the channel. Thank you very much, and thank you everybody for watching. Please fly safe, and we'll see you all next time. Ta-ta.